All right. Hello, everybody. Episode 2 of the interview. I'm just gonna keep the intro short and sweet because we have quite a few questions that everyone put forward on Twitter. Uh, Simple stuff. We're gonna go through them in order. Normal format is I ask the person a question and they can ask one back if they like, and then we go through the list of questions that the community asks. Today, we got the man, the myth, the artist legend who, created my profile picture and has done a lot of work for other people in the past and recently. OniJps. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
I am doing all right. I finally have been getting time to recover my leg and sleep.
Oh yeah, man.
Anything interesting going on? Projects that you can talk about?
That I can talk about, no.
Right.
But there's effectively four going on right now.
Hmm.
And I'm stoked for all of them. Uh, yeah.
Sounds like a hell of a time keeping you busy and enjoying every minute of it, I assume.
Loving it. Yeah. It's great.
Love to see it. So start with my question for you actually. Out of all the work you've done for various people, who's so far that you can say has been by far the most interesting?
Oof. Um, that's a really good question, honestly. Um, I think, and this is, it's more of, I feel more of like a community sense about this question because, um, I put a lot of very personal details into commissions, things that people ask for or things that people want specifically. But I think that the coolest things I get to do that aren't off the record things have been when people request very specific niches of things that I do. Because then I get to make like three of them, and it really stimulates my brain and my imagination. How can I take three like the vaporwave um folklore, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how do you do three different versions of three different beasts in vaporwave and make all of them look unique? I That kind of stuff is by far my favorite, so I'm just gonna that's my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it 100%. I have Oh man, I think the favorite one of those I've seen you do was the Bigfoot on rollerblades.
Yeah.
That one was because I was showing my father some of the art you do and everything. And we were just scrolling and I was showing some of it and the first one that really caught his eye was actually that one.
Another Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because he's
Yeah.
really big into a lot of that cryptid lore stuff. So that was like, oh, Bigfoot on roller skates. That's hilarious and amazing.
Very cool.
Love to see it. Let's see. I think, let's go for this one. You know this man. We both really like him. Data Walker
Yeah.
is asking how, to how important aesthetics are and why they're important and stuff like that.
So I like that question. Out of all the ones that I paid attention to, I tried to not read them. I would just toss a like every time somebody wrote something. I would barely read it, but I saw his and it stuck out to me. I think so. That's a really hard question to answer, right? I believe in originality. I believe in being yourself, regardless of what people say about your fashion sense or the work you put out or whatever, what car you drive, none of that shit matters, right? The only thing that matters to me is that you really enjoy how it looks, how it makes you feel, and how it impacts other people. So I do all sorts of aesthetics, man. I'm into everything. I've got the gaming PC with all the it's purple. You know what I mean? Like my whole
Right.
computer room is like purple and blue and pink, and it's super bright and vibrant. But me as a person, I wear nothing but black. Like everything I wear is black. Um, and I think surrounding yourself with positive or like fun energy, I guess is the best way to put it. Kind of makes everything a little bit better.
Right.
I don't know. It's comforting, I guess. Um,
Yeah. No, I get that 100%. Like you brought up like you brought up like you only wear black, but you got like a vibrant purpley room. My room's fucked up aesthetically. Like my computer case is white. It's all red LEDs. Then I've got all kinds of different paintings on my walls. Um, like I've got a Rammstein wood cutout, and then directly above it is a True to Kaisar cutout in wood.
right.
So aesthetics are. I have to agree 100%. Like aesthetics is like just you know what you enjoy about it, and he went on to ask like how to find a good one. And I mean, I don't know how you think about it or what you think about it
Um,
specifically, but I think finding a good one is just a matter of opinion and
right.
perspective.
So to some people, their whole aesthetic is like summer vibes, the beach. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
warmth and cozy, or you've got wood cabin. That whole aesthetic with the snow and the fireplace. And, um, you've got people that are really into futurism, so they wear a bunch of neon colors, and they like high tech shit. I think it is important. Uh, I think it's very important for people to find their own aesthetic. Like, man, I'm into so much weird shit. Like thinking about it, I love gloomy days. I love the snow. I love the rain. I love like gray tones.
Right. The muted aesthetic,
Right.
like I call it,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's calming to me. Snow and it's cozy. Um, but on the other end of the spectrum, I listen to like super heavy metal and
Yeah.
uh, I listen to really angsty, angry shit, and I dress like I'm about to go to a hardcore show and slam dance. I mean, I'm just a mess. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, my aesthetic's really fucking weird. I surround myself with a lot of like different technology. Like I dress in two different ways. I have well three actually. I have like my all black, like you said, look like I'm getting ready to go to like a metal show or something. Then I have literally a farmer cowboy aesthetic that I have all kinds of clothes for. Flannels, jeans, boots, and a hat even.
Right.
Uh, and then my other one is like 110% fancy white collar bullshit that I really like. And then, I've got all the Wendigo and occult bullshit that I run on my
Oh yeah,
profile
dude.
too. And that's mint. It's just
Occulty stuff is like 56% of all my clothes. I swear, all like every other shirt I own is just edgy as fuck.
right. Me too.
Yeah.
Dude, I shit you not. If American Lictor, if X9 and BC started selling like Wendigo and Bigfoot shirts, I would not have a bank account anymore.
Yeah. Feel that way about a lot of things, honestly.
True. There's so many things I want to buy, but or that people should make that I would 100% buy, but they don't.
Hypothetical purchases are like they're dangerous.
Yeah, no, because then they actually like call you on your bullshit, and then you're like, oh, I don't need it.
Right.
The next question. Hmm. This is actually on the topic of music that we were just talking about. Desert Sentinel, if you know who that is. I know him. I like him. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
He asks your three favorite artists and bands of any genre.
like where I would rank them, or just like three of my favorites?
He just said three of your favorite bands.
Okay. So I grew up listening to a ton of Memphis rap. So like 3 6 Mafia.
Ooh,
And then as I got older, I really fucking fell in love with Wu Tang and stuff like that. I'm a big hip hop head. Um, Kind of a hard question because I listen to so many genres of music. I would say I'm gonna break it up into three genres: hip hop, rock, and or metal,
I was
and
just about to say that. Yeah, that's a good
other.
idea.
Yeah. So for metal, I am like the biggest Lorna Shore fan ever.
Lorna Shore
Nobody's
is really
probably
good.
heard of them, but they're Omega heavy.
Oh, Lorna Shore is so popular, dude.
Yeah.
I love them.
Uh, I would say right now, in terms of like hip hop, um, hmm, so it's gonna make me upset. Um, I would say like the Underachievers or uh, fuck, man. Yeah, I'd say probably the Underachievers. If we're not talking about like old school hip hop that I've heard a million times, and then in terms of other, I would say people are going to hate me for this, but he's British. His name is Slow Tie. He does like a hip hop, but he's also very abstract. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, probably my top three right now. But it's an ever changing list.
That's actually a really interesting list. You said 3 6 Mafia, and my like entire brain melted because I haven't
Oh yeah,
heard that.
dude.
I haven't heard that name in oh long, long time.
Dude, I was driving a Kia in high school and I'd pull up and I went to this like super wealthy high school and I was like one of the five poor kids that went there and I would just pull up bumping 3 6 and everybody thought I was a drug dealer. I wasn't, by the way, to clear the record.
Yeah, no, I've had people think I'm a drug dealer because I will sometimes blast rap like that, and I drive kind of a beat up car, so
Nothing wrong with it.
yeah, it's very nice. Hold on. Trying to get back to the questions because my Twitter crashed. There we go.
I know there's a
So,
ton, so due to timing or whatever, if you want to just if you want to tell me what yours are, that's totally fine. I didn't want to run us out of time here.
nah, you're good. We've only been here 13 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I only thought of like one or two, but that was because we got so many. So, you know, don't want to waste time asking what, you know, I want to know whenever I can just always ask that.
True.
um, oh, here's a one I actually think you might find interesting and very cool. From Andre Boucain, where do we see the biggest consumer advancement and advantage in AI over the next year from now till the election?
Um, I get asked about AI a lot, and I guess it's because I 50% of everything that I do is AI. I think in terms of branding, and there's a lot of money to save by using AI to do mundane things. Um, right? There's
Yeah.
people that make whole commercials with AI and they just type in some shit and it does it. There's whole songs sang by a person that never sang that song, but it sounds flawless. That's a little scary. Um, I feel like we've been heading towards automation strongly for the last 40 years. And I used to kind of laugh when people would say, "Oh, robots are going to take our job one day." But honestly, I think the shift we're going to see. the push for AI is going to be doing those mundane, uh, creative type workloads, and then leaving the fine tuning and stuff to a smaller group of people that participate in art as a career. I think that's kind of where it's headed.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that. Like some of the AI stuff that is coming out is really cool, but then there's some of it that's like really scary, and some of the questions that people are posing relating to AI. Like I'm not gonna say the one that, but there's one question that people have asked, and actually we were in one of the spaces with Heather when the question was asked, uh, relating to like AI art and a certain illegal thing that nobody in this community likes.
Right.
And it's like when people start posing that question and trying to make it, what's the word? Um, like try and like eke it into conversations and almost make it seem like it's not such a bad thing. That's kind of horrifying.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I have probably the hottest. It's a pretty hot take. Okay, I treat digital advancements kind of like a lot of people treat. Um, not I'm not going to say guns because 2A, but um, it's something that it just is, right? And there's always going to be people that exploit it and make evil out of it. Um, you can buy a car and run into 50 people if you're so inclined to. Um, People have been able to draw this stuff since drawing started. It's it is a tool that people will abuse, and the the crackdowns on these AI programs lately have been hefty. I mean, there's prompts that I type in that are nowhere in the realm of being edgy or violent or anything. I told you one the other day. It was dimly lit,
Yeah.
right? It's flagged. No idea why. Um, but it's just a prompt I can no longer use. And fine, like they really need I'd really like to see some sort of verification. I don't know, man. It just sounds too fuddy for me, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I hate those people that do that shit. I think it should absolutely be viewed as a crime. Um, because the intent is there, right? Even if they're not real people. Um, it is it's fucked. It's
Yeah.
fucked. They're not
No.
people. They're not humans. So, uh,
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. Like it was that one guy in the space like asked it, and I don't know if you remember what I said, but it was basically explaining how AI image art uses basically a giant database that it curates off of images it can find anywhere and everywhere off the internet that it can
right,
access at any time. So
right,
that means the people who make those kinds of images are using either images that are exactly that thing or images of like real people to simulate that sort of thing.
right.
So
And
it's
it's also getting more and more intelligent. So the more intelligent that AI gets, the less reference it's going to need and to pull from. So
exactly
yeah,
not not something.
I think we're going to see a lot of regulations before long about AI because it's kind of gotten out of control a little. I think it should remain in the art space and in the creation space, but like safely, not monitored because that's some Fed shit. But it's something I don't have the answer for that. I have no idea. Something needs to happen.
Yeah,
At
I
least red flag the prompts or some shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, like
Don't have anything to worry about if you're not typing it in. Type
exactly,
beat.
exactly. Uh let's get on to the next question. Let's get into some of
Yeah.
the questions Ken asked. She
Okay.
had quite a few. Um, here we go. Are there any other hobbies or things you enjoy doing in your free time?
Cooking. I've been cooking since I was 12, and I do it practically every day. Um, Kind of into cars. Been a PC gamer my whole life, pretty much since 1998. Uh, I was 10 years old. I got my first computer, so that was a thing. Um, Before I got hurt, uh, I had always been really into like boxing and wrestling and stuff. So uh, used to love sports. Can't do much of them anymore, but yeah, cooking is my number one for sure.
I like cooking. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Um, Another one from Ken. Uh, what? Oh, oh, wrong thing. Sorry. Do you do other kinds of artwork, or do you mainly stick to digital artwork?
Um, that's a good question. So I didn't even start doing the digital art thing for until fuck. I haven't even been back on Twitter for like a year, probably I've only been doing digital art for 8 to 10 months. As like something that interests me and more in something that I wanted to learn about. I've dabbled in it in the past. But I used to partake in the graffiti when I was but a street kid. In high school, I would draw a ton all the time. Uh, I would actually, instead of taking notes, just be doodling the whole time. Um, Honestly, I don't. This is gonna sound kind of like cliche as fuck, but I don't consider myself like an artist, right? I'm an idea person. I want to make things, and I'm very logistical about like I can visualize in my head what I'm gonna do, and then I can kind of like try and put that down. So if that's making a shelf or painting something or the digital thing, I my brain works the same way for all of them. But yeah, I dabble in a whole bunch of um, creative things, I guess.
That's nice. I wanted to get into like charcoal drawing at one point, but
It's so messy. It's kind of
it's
like clay.
it's it's very messy, but also just it's so skill intensive. I could not ever do it.
Yeah, you have to have a really good grasp of shading. Shading is hard. Shading is uh, the difference between something being realistic and not realistic is the shading. You can make a stick figure look semi-realistic with good shading. You know what I mean?
Right. It's wild. Some of the work that artists like you and other people can do, at least to me. One other question from Ken. She's got a bunch here, but we'll ask this one and then bounce back to some other ones.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have a favorite piece of art you've done?
Um. So yes to two types. That Wendigo in the woods holding the skull is my favorite one that I've done with AI by a fucking large margin. Um, it looks, it is one of the more flawless pieces of AI I've ever made. And it took very, very minimal amounts of editing. The only thing I messed with was like a few little AI circles in it and um, some fragmentation or like messed up particles, pixels, whatever. And then I messed with the lighting and the shading a little bit. But in terms of AI, that one is top of the list for me. Um, Things
I
that are sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that is one of my favorites too. I love that one.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the one of the homies has even got it printed and hanging above his bar, and I was just like gobsmacked by that. It was awesome. Um, if we're I don't really have a favorite drawn one. I guess if that one's just I'm just gonna say that one's my favorite because I have yet to really fine tune this drawing tablet, and I'm constantly trying to get better. And I do it. I sit here and doodle all day, and I will have that drawn piece that I love more than um, anything I've done. But I will say that I have done something recently that I am extremely happy with, and people are gonna have to wait for that.
Ooh,
Probably next week.
what a tease.
Yeah, sorry.
Ah, well, we'll just have to, like you said, we'll just have to wait.
I have to wait too. I mean, honestly. So
um, Here's one. This is from uh RWI Co. Raven. I think you know
yep.
him. Um, let's see. Do you believe AI art is a legitimate art style, and where do you think it falls as far as its genre?
Yes and no. Um, so the difference between somebody who is good with AI and somebody who jumps in and types in some prompts is very vast. Um, I would compare it more to writing lyrics than I would art. Um, the more detailed you are in your explanations to AI, the more it understands, and you get to this point of where you kind of know exactly what you're going to get when you type in a prompt. Um, and the I don't think it is as relative to the art space, and not for the fucking hippie reason of it has no soul or whatever. Like these people that say that watch dudes throw mop buckets at a wall and fucking cry or something, right? I mean, I'm being real with you.
Hey, you're not wrong.
But I will say that for my purpose, um, I apply a lot of myself to them through editing. So that's why I say that I'm not an artist, right? Like I know color compositions and I know how to shade okay, and I just got an extremely vivid imagination. I've got all these visualizations in my head of what I want to make, so I can type in what I want to make, and then with a little bit of like computer knowledge and like 1% of artistic talent, I can go back and make it something truly unique. Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I kind of agree with it. Like I consider what you do to be art in a way because like there's some stuff that you do that's like you obviously there's been a prompt in there, but then like the amount of like work and editing and like applying different, filters and adjusting the gradients and everything like that is it's not like traditional art like I went and drew this, but it's its own kind of art in a way. Like the same
well,
thing
that's the
that like
thing,
people consider machining work or cars a form of art.
right? I'm going to asterisk this statement right here. I can draw. I can paint. I can do all of these things. The difference is I would be nowhere near efficient enough to post every day or every other day. Maybe not even once every 3 days. They would be this little tiny hand drawn things that I'm so obsessive about how things turn out that AI has given me the ability to kind of infuse some of this AI stuff with a little bit of my personality and then ship it to the people that, want to see it or that follow me for that purpose. Right.
Right.
So, yeah. And I think to second part of the question, I think it's going to be either more accepted or just fully dismissed. I don't see there being uh,
Its own specific genre.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be its own thing. I mean, I just unless it's like a collaborative thing, kind of like what I do or what, some other people do where there's people on Fiverr that sell AI pictures and they charge $15 per correction, okay? I go through an AI image and there's like 20 corrections. So,
Jesus Christ.
it's I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be fully ingrained, but at the same time, I think it'll have its place for making simple shapes or for laying out something that you can add to. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, that is. Oh, I think it'll probably end up being accepted, but that's just me. Because there's some really interesting shit that can be done with AI, and people are like, this was probably a hot take, and probably going to have a lot of people upset at me for saying it. So sorry, this has to be the interview that you're in where I say it. Um, I think that AI is going to make artists that are already really good better because they're going to do like what you do and they're going to use it for backgrounds or ambiance or something and they're going to take it and they're going to put their own work into it, make it
Right.
better than what it already is. And then these artists that just aren't good at all like are going to get weeded out by AI art, which sucks because sometimes those artists start out bad and then get better as they get more commission and more
Right.
work, usually become really damn good. But AI is going to weed those people out, and it's either going to be a thing of get a proper job and practice in your free time or struggle through it and find a way to make it work.
Right. If you love something enough, you'll perfect it. I mean, that's,
Right.
I every fundamental lesson I've learned in my entire life is if you want to get really good at something, you're going to have to keep doing it. If you're not just going to be naturally gifted at 99.9% of the things that you try to do. Um, yeah, practice makes perfect.
If,
No
yeah,
participation trophies type shit.
right. If only we were born being able to do everything we wanted to do perfectly. Mm,
Right. Then there would be no artists.
right. I don't even think I'd choose art though. Like if I had a character selection screen and got to choose my perks, I think I'd take math because I'm in a profession where math is like a necessity and I can barely do basic math in my head. It fucks me up.
I don't know what I would do. I have no idea.
Um, oh, this is gonna be a fucked up joke. You can hit me over the head, but probably I think you would probably choose the ability to, not be in chronic pain and crippled.
That's true.
It's a good one. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Back to some questions that Ken had.
Yeah.
What got you into the art you do?
So, hmm. I stumbled across the AI thing very early. Before I'd got, you know, to the back to the Twitter thing. Um, and then I started reading about it and trying it out. I tried every possible AI that I could. Uh, I've been telling my wife and my best friend for the last 4 years that I want to create something, that I want to build something. I've got this weird Stockholm syndrome since I can't work. And it's this like masculine urge to just build some shit, right?
Right.
Like dig a hole or something. I don't know. But um so I started dabbling in it and then I was like, I want to do more than just this, this it's fine, but my brain still needs more. So um I started posting them to Twitter. This would be like a couple months after I started using Twitter again. And they weren't very great, but they weren't awful. Um, and then I came to this crossroad where I had to decide what type of experience I wanted to have on Twitter. and it was like this really polarizing moment. I gained a whole bunch of followers from saying one thing about people wearing nods to some journo, and then I was like, this has potential to be something, right? And I don't want to just be reading about politics all the time and arguing with people. Like I specifically use, the internet because my chair's comfortable, but because I like listening to music and I like watching things, documentaries and stuff like that. So when I'm on my computer, I want to just kind of chill out.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna harbor that. This is where my boat's gonna sit. I'm gonna make things and see how it goes. So I started light. I got this little $30 drawing tablet. It was fine, but my hand-eye coordination, it just the non-screened versions are extremely hard to use. I don't care what anybody says. Um, and yeah, it just I kept getting more and more follows, and people were asking me to make them things, and it was like this feel good thing, and I want to get better, and people want me to get better, and people want stuff, and I like to make stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it, man.
Yeah, I love that. I think I remember when you got that first little tablet, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
you
even told you. I told you I was like, I'm getting a drawing tablet, so my life is easier.
yeah, no. And then like I think it was a week after you got it, like cuz you got it in the mail and you're like it's finally here. And then like a week later you're like fuck, this is hard.
Yeah, because I use my mouse in my right hand. I'm left-handed, and then I got the drawing tablet, and you're having to like look at where you're writing on the drawing tablet, but you can't see anything, so you have to look up at your screen too. It's very weird. So I
Yeah.
spent 6 times, 7 times, 10 times the amount of money, 10 times the amount of money to get one with a big old screen on it, so I don't have to do that anymore.
And now look at you go.
Yeah, I'm running. I'm winning, son.
I oh shit. I think my one of my siblings got like into drawing with the tablets and stuff, and their hand-eye coordination was somehow good enough to make like that screenless tablet work and produce good stuff. And
I mean, I started getting better at it. You have to put time into that because
right,
the disconnect for me is using my left hand at my computer because, like I said, I've been using a computer since 1998. I've always used right-handed mouse. You know,
yeah, it. I think it's like just a lot of practice and getting your hand-eye coordination actually trained
right?
because like I'm saying like
Maybe
a
that's
lot.
what they selected on their chair on their character screen. You know,
Yeah. Fun fact for those who don't remember: when you're born, you have a character creation screen. You just kind of fucked up and forgot about it.
yeah. If you didn't select something, you're not going to make it.
True. I selected ADHD on accident because it gave me. I only saw the part where you can hyper focus into something. I did not see the other downsides. Not worth
True.
it. Don't recommend.
Yeah, I went with that too.
Yeah, real bad. I'll ask one more Ken's and then got one more I really like.
All right.
Um, do you have any interesting goals for the future when it comes to your commissions?
Yes. Um.
Hmm.
So my goals are this: get good, help out the homies, support my community in the way that they've supported me, and make a little bit of side money. It sounds a little selfish, but I'm disabled and I don't get disability. So
Right.
give me that. You know what I mean? No, I want to get really good. I'm slowly taking the AI away. Um, in some pieces, way more than others. I'm still going to do the AI posts. I mean, I made a post about that week or two ago, and people are like, they want 50-50. So I'm giving them 50-50. I just want to keep working with all these badass. smaller companies or bigger companies that share similar values with me, and I know they genuinely care about what I'm giving them and they're happy with it, right? Um, at the end of the day, if I put 10, 12, 16 hours into a piece, I want someone to look at that and be like, holy shit, that's exactly what I wanted. I want to do that 110% of the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to be known as the dude that's like trying to sell a $10 painting for $500. I'm not that person.
Right.
Um, I mean, you can speak for that. I work with anybody that I can, and I want people to genuinely be happy with what they get. And um, I think anybody that's dealt with me so far would vouch for that.
Yeah, no. If for anyone like unsure of just like how legit Oni is, the dude I asked whenever I first like saw his art and was asking like, "Hey, would you be able to make a profile picture for me?" The dude sent me like five final air quote final revisions because he he made the final one and then I already thought that the first one he did was absolutely amazing. And then he sent me another revision saying, "Hey, I fixed some of the imperfections, fixed the shading. It's good." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Thank you very much. That's way better. It looked way better, and even on my phone, which tanks the quality of every photo you send for some reason, which sucks."
Yeah.
And then sent me another one with some more fixes, and then the one with the United Nation Global Occult Coalition flag as well alongside it. Like, the dude goes completely above and beyond for the homies every single time. And
Well, I think I have undiagnosed something or another, but yeah,
yeah, no,
I'm a perfectionist, and also I don't ever want to release something that's not 100%.
right,
If it's 98%, it's not good enough.
exactly. Because like I agree with that. I'm the same way. It's it's kind of like a family motto. At least on my father's side, it's like if you're not giving 120%, you're giving zero.
Right.
But yeah, no, you consistently put out really good shit, and you accept nothing less than perfection. And if you think something's perfect, and then send it, and then you realize, oh wait, there's more I can do, then you go ahead and do it anyway.
Right. Because at the end of the day, people are paying me for a service, right?
Right, exactly.
Sometimes not, but even if they're not, it kind of we were actually talking about tips on Liberty Happy Hour last night, and the way I was raised uh, is that you pay somebody for their service, right?
Right.
If their service is lackluster, then you shouldn't tip. If they make you a coffee and hand it out of a window, they didn't do anything for that tip. They just made a coffee and handed it out the window. There's no customer service there. So my mentality, because I've worked customer service my entire life, is to treat everybody like I could agree with you on everything, or I could disagree with everything that you have to believe in, and I'm still going to give you everything I've got because I don't want to be known as someone that just doesn't fucking care. That's not me.
Quite insanely based.
Super based. I'm like the most based.
I have to agree. I think the only person who surpasses your baseness on our Twitter, probably Shadsy.
Well, yeah, that's why he's gonna carry me in a backpack.
I saw that. I love that.
Birds of a feather, dude.
I love that fucking picture. Uh,
Oh God.
we have one more question, and we're also nearing the end, so it's perfect timing, actually.
Yeah.
Um, Righteous wants to know why haven't you started developing ballistic rated armor of the masks that you put in your art, like the Oni masks and Wendigo masks?
Mostly because I haven't met the right people and I don't have the right equipment. It's
So what you're
pretty much it.
saying
I would.
is,
Yeah,
if I
absolutely.
can get you hooked up with a metal manufacturer,
Or carbon composites or whatever, man.
Damn. What you're
We can make it
saying
happen.
so what you're saying is if I convinced you that I could machine them out, I could just get you to buy the material and I'd do it. Quite based.
Yeah, I mean, I can model. Um, I've got an okay understanding of like 3D modeling and stuff. I've been toying with the idea of two things lately, and that's getting a 3D printer, which would, I mean, honestly, you could just use those in a mold, or
Yeah.
use them for a mold, or a really high end sticker printer because everybody needs slaps. So I've been really brainstorming about how I can kind of like do more, because I want to. I just, yeah, if I knew the right people, I would do it. I would give you all ballistics masks of the things that I make.
Would 100% order one. I still need to fix my 3D printer and get my Wendigo mask printed that I ordered forever ago. Because
Hell yeah.
I tried to. I had Goon Vibes was printing it for me. And then the first time we actually got the file fixed and everything and made it look nice, it killed something on his table. I don't remember what it was, but it broke something on his table.
Hmm.
And then he got it fixed. And then it broke again.
It's usually how it works, man.
So it's insane how many times I've broke his printer. And by the way, Goon, if you're listening, I apologize for breaking your fucking ender like 5 times. I will 100% pay you for the fixes if you want me to, because I didn't expect my abilities to have that much power. But I believe,
True friendship.
yeah, right. I like breaking everything I possibly can. It's my nature. I think that's all of our questions. Let me double check. Oh, we have one more actually that I missed. Which
Is it the Kentucky one?
no, I saw Mushroom say that just
I'm
Kentucky,
just gonna say
Kentucky,
one
Kentucky,
thing about that. Kentucky. Okay.
Kentucky. There you go.
Yep.
But no, this one's from Future Group. What creative endeavors, art, memes, etc., could unite different freedom movements that don't yet know they should be more engaged with each other? Meaning First Amendment, Second Amendment, and crypto guys.
Shoot, buddy. Um, that would imply, or that would require a lot of things to line up. Uh, Geez, that is a hard question to answer.
Mm-hmm. Um, my personal opinion on it, like I know they're asking you,
Yeah,
but
go for it.
like if we can't even get our own movement to be nice and play nice with each other, how the hell are we gonna get other ones to do it?
Right.
Like
And
I
I
don't
I
know if
come from a
you
different time than you do. Like I'm a little bit older, right?
right.
So my view on how it would work would be we would have to go back in time. Uh I remember, man, th- this is going to wrap around, I promise. When I was younger, you used to the sense of humor was so different, right? Like
Right.
people could take jokes. Comedians weren't apologizing on the internet for saying rude things, and like everybody was more disconnected then. So like you didn't have the internet wasn't anywhere near what it is now. Um, I
Right.
think that this is going to be a two-parter. Um, I think for bringing people together, it's entirely possible if people expand their expectations for people like it, and by expand I mean like you don't have to. So like say I share a fucking meme and it's really funny, right? but it's not totally what you believe in. Like it's something that I'll use an example. Okay, so I posted a Wendigo. I do it once a week. It's a fucking joke. And some guy ripped into me from our side of the community, right? About how it was just fear boner bait and yada yada yada. And this is a guy that's also like supporting the 2A, and he's just like around, didn't have very many mutuals, but he didn't stop and like communicate with me anything other than that. He just wanted to tell me how much he disliked what I was doing and had to tell me he was going to block me, which for the record, I don't fucking care. Go. But uh, I am receptive to anybody. I've got people that relate to my posts, um, my doodles or whatever, that are from all walks of life. I've got people that are atheists. I've got people that are super Christian. I've got people that lean towards the center. I've got people that are pretty on the right. I've got some people on the left. I don't judge anybody based on fucking anything. Um, so until other people can start thinking kind of mostly the same way, there's no chance.
100% agreed. Because that's exactly what I was gonna start saying. Is I don't know if you've been on Twitter in the last 4 5 hours. Uh,
There's a lot of infighting, and
yeah,
I do
no,
believe that people deserve to be called out when they're actually being pieces of shit. But there's a lot of stupid arguments, man. Like, you know, stop the well actuallys and just like ignore the post is basically what I'm getting at. You don't have to correct everybody.
right. I think like exactly what you said. It's like we can't even like align in our own community, like because we've got people who are pro Second Amendment. Well, but are they actually pro Second Amendment? Do they say they just are? Or are they one of the people who are pro Second Amendment, but have the ideology of rules for thee, but not for me, and only want guns for them and people like them?
Right.
Which
And they
their
usually have
line
the
of
most to say
reasoning,
in their bio about their personality too. That's something I've noticed.
yeah, and I can see the point those people make about like, well, why would I want to arm my enemies? It's like, well, maybe don't have enemies.
At least stay incognito.
Yeah, because like,
You don't have to walk into every room and announce that you're there or that you're leaving. It's perfectly acceptable to kind of exist in your own bubble and not fuck up everybody's bubble all the time.
right.
That's kind of my 2 cents. I don't know. I'm so beyond happy with the people that I've met in this community. Honestly, I mean, I don't know what I would be doing right now. I'd be bitching to my wife about how I can't find a game to play, or genuinely be depressed that I don't get around the way I used to be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
serious note time. Like it's. I know Twitter's not real life, but like there are a lot of really good people on Twitter,
Oh yeah.
and there are events that people go to that are filled to the brim with good people. And just because one piece of shit is like stands out doesn't mean we all have to barricade on that person or jump on, or you know
Yeah.
just like those people don't need to show up on every post we make telling us how much they hate our guts because what we do is different than what they like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think art in the most literal sense does not have the power that it used to have.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, a little rant, but
No, no, you're fine. I think we'll call it here, though. Do you have any final words for the people?
yeah. Couple things. Uh, Leave the kids alone. 2A is absolute. Politicians are snakes. Oni out.
What a fucking Chad. Absolute legend.
Thanks.
But yeah, all of you, if you don't know who Oni is, you definitely shouldn't go check him out on Twitter. His tag is at OniJps, spelling it out ONIJPS. Very simple. Um, he has some really cool stuff he posts. He has a link tree set up with just a giant list of trusted vendors who that some of them are people who, the people you might not like or you might not agree with them, but they're people who you buy from, you get exactly what you're buying and more because you can trust them, you know. Um, do you have anyone you want to shout out real quick?
Um, the whole you know, shads, cultivated laser, shouse, the NGMI boys, the broken boys, Zen, my homie. Um, yeah, plenty of others, but those people are secret for now until things happen.
Hell yeah. All right. Only thing I have to say is everyone have a good time. Thank you, Oni, for coming on and dealing with the questions and having to listen to me for about an hour. Um,
It's all good, dude.
yeah, no,
Anytime.
no, definitely. Might have you on again if we get the chance. Um,
Yeah, man, for sure.
my final message before we cut it off here is follow three simple rules in life and you'll have a good life. Those rules are do no harm unless harm is intended to you. Do not lie, and do not steal what you would not want stolen from you. That is all. You have a wonderful night, and thank you for listening to this little interview.